Need some coins for that God Squad you've always wanted? For the cheapest coins anywhere, check out MMOEXP.com and use code ZERK for 5% off your order. Link is in the description.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
So Campus Heroes 2 is coming out this Thursday. I want to talk with you guys about some predictions for players that I would want to see in there, some things you guys could be doing right now to actually prepare for this promo, and overall talk about Campus Heroes Part 2. I do want to give a shout out to Braden Smith for being a part of the Nota Gang. If you guys want a chance to shout out in the next video, drop a like in the vid. Make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, turn notifications on, and comment down below. Nota Gang. Also guys, the NFL season is coming to an end very, very soon. This week we have the final regular season week of the NFL, Week 18. I will have picks up later this week, but today we do have NBA, and if you guys sign up at Underdog Fantasy right now, using code ZERK, you'll get this LeBron James 0.5 point special for tomorrow, which I actually did my NBA picks late last night to try to avoid some of those bumps that have been happening throughout the early afternoon of NBA days. So make sure you guys hop in and take advantage of these fast before these lines adjust. My picks are up right now over on Twitter. All right, so starting off, guys, Campus Heroes Part 2, number 1, in case you guys did not know this, that promo is going to be dropping on this upcoming Thursday, as I did say, and we are going to be getting reveals Thursday morning at 10:30. So yes, it is going to be a 1:30 release. Promo should be out at 1:30. You know, maybe it's going to be delayed. Who knows with EA this year? But regardless, it is set anyways to come out at 1:30. Now, with that being said, how good was Part 1 of this promo? Well, for those of you guys that forgot, Part 1 was actually, in my opinion, pretty solid. We got some really good cards like Jalen Hyatt, who was a very good LTD, 87 speed. He was incredible at the beginning of the year. Bo Jackson was the best running back in the game for a very long time. Logan Mankins, just no lineman. Joey Porter Jr., I loved this card. He was absolutely amazing. Obviously, Sean Taylor, always a big deal. And then Manti Te'o. So, yeah, Part 1 was really good. We got a lot of good 88s, and then we had a bunch of 85 overalls as well. We had this free Michael Mayer from the solos. A lot of people love this Christian Kirk card, and then Kenneth Walker as well. So Campus Heroes Part 1 overall, I think, was definitely a W in terms of the players for sure. Now, one big question that I personally do have when it comes to Campus Heroes Part 2 though is how big will this promo be? Well, the good thing is we can actually go ahead and take a look back at Campus Heroes Part 2 from last year, because it came out around the same exact time. As you guys can see, Campus Heroes Part 2 last year, January 4th of 2023. Now, could this be a much bigger promo this year? Could we see a lot of players, or will it be just like Campus Heroes Part 1 where we're going to get like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, however many players EA really wants to do? I'm kind of leaning more on the side of, you know, it's probably going to be like 6 to 8 players more than likely. Is this going to be like a, you know, 2 release promo? I don't necessarily think so. This is kind of like the gap filler in between this and pretty much the playoff promo. Which, by the way, I do plan on making a video, you may even see it today, of me going over all of the content that we could potentially see throughout the month of January. But let's get into this. Let's take a look at the players that we did get last year with Campus Heroes Part 2. Starting off, we had the LTDs. We had Devontae Smith, and we also had Jadeveon Clowney. Now, one thing you will notice, though, is these guys are 96 overalls, right? The champions are 96s, and as well the LTDs are 96s. Now obviously this year we've kind of slowed down a little bit in terms of overalls going up as quickly, right? Which in my opinion is a great thing. It's really, you know, keeping the longevity of the game going, and getting into the later months of this year when we get down to, you know, April, May, and then we finally start to see, you know, pretty much every card coming out is going to be 99 overall at that point. Well, it's not going to be the same cards coming out with the same stats. I really like the way they've done it this year with the slower overalls. Some people don't like it. Personally, I do, because, I mean, the past couple years, when we're getting 99 overalls nonstop, you know, early into the new year, the game gets boring. Pretty much every content release, there's nothing exciting about it. So at least now we will have some stuff to look forward to. With that being said, though, as I said, these are 96s. Well, guys, we've been on 93 overall champions now for like a month. So in my opinion, I do think we're going to see overalls increase with this promo to a 94 overall for the champions, and potentially see 95 overall LTDs. Which I want to talk about in a minute here, what you guys can potentially do to prepare for that. But Jadeveon Clowney, Devontae Smith, these cards were, you know, overall pretty good. LTD's Clowney's always pretty sought after player. And then in terms of the normal champions, we had QB Denard Robinson, which was a fun card to use. Thomas Davis at safety. Keith Byers, this card was actually incredible. Like, Keith Byers was an absolute tank. And then Jason Verrett. So Campus Heroes Part 2, I liked the Keith Byers the most. I wasn't really big on necessarily the other 3 cards that we did end up getting here. And then we, of course, had a bunch of 93 overalls as well. I do believe every single team got a 93 overall, which, hey, may be the same case this time around. And aside from that, we had a Campus Heroes sticker player, which with Part 1 last year was actually Tim Tebow. Part 2 was this Amari Cooper. You could get him to a free 93 overall. Now, with that being said, let me talk about a couple of players that I think we could potentially see as a part of Campus Heroes Part 2. Now, of course, these are players that, number 1, I would want to see, and number 2, make a lot of sense to see in the Campus Heroes promo. Starting off, Johnny Manziel. Obviously, Johnny Manziel, I feel like, is probably going to be a part of this promo. Now, if we're only going to get, you know, let's say 6 champions, right? Let's say we get 4 champions, 6 champions. I'll say 6, right? Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe we get way less than that. But let's say we get 6 champions. At most, we're probably going to get 2 quarterbacks, okay, throughout this entire release here of Campus Heroes Part 2. If it is just going to be 1 drop, at most, probably going to see 2 QBs, which there are obviously 2 quarterbacks you'd probably expect to see. As I just said, number 1 is probably Johnny Manziel. Since he's already in the game, they have his rights, and he has a 90 overall, aka champion. I mean, when you think of Campus Heroes, you think of Johnny Manziel, right? So, Johnny Manziel, I definitely think will be a part of this promo. Will the card be good? I mean, his release, I don't remember what his release is. Traditional 2. He has Traditional 2 release, which is definitely a very, very solid release. That's the Joe Burrow, CJ Stroud release, which I absolutely loved using that CJ Stroud at the beginning of the year. So, Johnny Manziel, not the absolute best release. That would be Lamar Jackson's. I think Traditional 4 off the top of my head is the name of that one there. But yeah, Johnny Manziel overall release would be good. We'll see exactly how juiced up they make his speed, but I'd be very surprised if we didn't get Money Manziel. Now, of course, though, I want to talk about 2 other quarterbacks that I think we could potentially see, and that I'm sure a lot of you guys as well would like to see. Tim Tebow, again, he gets cards every single year. Actually doesn't have a card yet this year, so yeah, this would make a lot of sense. Maybe we don't even get Johnny Manziel, but it would really be shocking to me if we did not get Johnny Manziel with Campus Heroes Part 2. But if they decide that we're only going to get 2 quarterbacks and they want to give us 2 QBs, I think Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel. I think those are the 2 we likely are going to get. Tebow always seems to get Campus Hero cards because, again, just like Johnny Manziel, that was their prime. But I did ask you guys over on Twitter, name a player that you would want to see, and one player that I saw popping up a lot, and I gotta bring him up, is Cam Newton. Cam Newton was popping up a lot in there. Now, do they have his rights? He's not in the game yet, so he could potentially, I don't know if they have his rights yet, or if they still have his rights regardless, but I do think that they should. He hasn't officially retired, so I would think that they have his rights to put him in the game potentially. He could be in Campus Heroes Part 2 for sure, but if we're only going to get 2 QBs, my mind is thinking Tim Tebow and Johnny Manziel. Now, aside from quarterbacks, though, some other players that I would like to see, and I know that a lot of people don't like to see the same names, the same faces, you know, year over year over year, which I gotta say, especially with Zero Chill, we kind of saw EA's hand a little bit with some of the players like Darius Hayward-Bay, like Dre Archer. I feel like they might have some hidden gems that we are not aware of yet that they could pull out and actually put into Campus Heroes Part 2. That would be pretty good. But Reggie Bush, I always like his cards. He's always really good. Amazing receiving back. I'm sure he'd be very, very quick, very agile, of course. And as you guys can see, he's been a Campus Hero champion before. Personally, I'm totally down to see him happen again. And for sure, a player that I would love to see, and I know you guys are probably on the same page as me, Taylor Mays. Now, Taylor Mays was actually not in Madden 23, if I recall correctly, and he also is not in the game just yet, but Taylor Mays is just a Madden Ultimate Team legend. He's been a Campus Hero before, and of course, you know, he's 6'3", just a monster user card. Now, the only thing is, though, now with the addition of Lurk Artist this year, right, does that kind of change your guys' opinions on getting a card like Taylor Mays? Because obviously, we like Taylor Mays cards because he's an incredible user, Personally, I still don't think it really matters. I would want to use her on Taylor Mays and just have him out there. Always one of my favorite MUT cards every year when he pops out. Hopefully he does so with Campus Heroes Part 2. Right, and the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is a potential investment that you could make with Campus Heroes Part 2 coming out this upcoming Thursday. Now, I will say this, okay, number one, this is a risk, all right? I'm doing it because I have the coins to do so. I do not recommend you invest every single coin that you have into this and bank on it, but I think overalls are probably going to increase now to 94 overall. With that being said, set champions right now for 93s take 5 90s. So there's a lot of risk involved with this. Number one, Campus Heroes 2 could drop and the sets could be like not just any 91 overalls. So that's a risk that I'm taking there. And number two, Campus Heroes 2 could suck. All right, just straight up, it could suck. So, I have decided to take the risk to invest into 91 overalls. This is something that a lot of people have done, you know, throughout pretty much the entire year here, is when we are expecting an overall increase with champions, whatever, they go out and they buy whatever overall is going to be coming next into those sets and just hope the players are good. So, without a doubt, this is risky, okay? This is on you. Don't come back and blame me if these champions are not good and this investment doesn't work out for you. If you decide to do it, take some accountability. This is on you. I just like to share with you guys what I like to do, what I personally am doing. And of course, you know, I have the coins to risk, right? This is not a surefire way to make coins, not even close, because again, these Campus Heroes could suck and these 91s cannot move in price at all. And I'm sure people right now are already out there investing into them. I bought all these 91 overalls, about 110,000 coins. So here's the thing, Thursday morning at 10:30, there's going to be a reveal stream. I will tell you guys right now, when it comes to prices moving of like 90s, 91s, whatever, the biggest jump and you start to see movement is when those reveals happen. If Thursday morning at 10:30, you know, they come out and they say, boom, look at these champions coming out and they are huge. You're gonna see people running to the auction house to buy 91s if they're 94 overall champions, right? So I always tell you guys this. You can't go broke taking a profit. Do not try to hold out trying to make as many coins as possible. When's the best time to sell? If it's a profit, sell the cards. One thing that I noticed throughout the years of playing Madden is it's better to sell off hype than to wait for like the cards to release, because at 10:30 when they do that reveal stream Thursday morning, if the cards are actually good and they're 94 overalls, you're gonna see 91s getting bought up, and if they go up a good amount, then maybe just sell right there, because if you wait for the sets to release, at that point, you don't really know exactly what's going to go on the market. There could be a special offer that EA drops that gives people like a full, you know, Campus Hero 94 overall, whatever, and then those Campus Heroes drop down in price. The 91s follow suit. Just sell off hype. If you decide to buy 91s, let's say you buy them for 110K, and the champions are really, really good, which again is a risk in itself, right? Again, they could do the reveals. The champions could be bad. I just sit on the 91s personally. I'll sit on these for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. If they continue to release more and more cards and they're not that good, I'll just sit on them. Or maybe just do a set myself. But then eventually, whenever we get like some decent champions, you tend to see players go up. Definitely something that you guys could do, something that I am doing, but if you do it, it's on you. All right, straight up, it is on you. But with that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video. And if you did, make sure you guys drop a like in the video. And of course, hit that sub button down below. Campus Heroes Part 2 coming out this Thursday. Reveals in the morning, and then in the afternoon, that promo is going to drop. Hopefully, some really, really good cards. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like on it, hit that sub button down below. Check Underdog Fantasy, use code ZERK, and let me know right now a Campus Hero player that you guys want to see released this Thursday. If you guys enjoyed this video, check out these.